Oh, hair's a mess. Hair's a mess again. Hi, I'm Sailor Moon, and I'm Sailor Venus. And today we're going to talk about, well, if you first talked about the hate that folks had for the Deacon Cloverway takes on Sailor Moon, then we're going to talk about something else in Sailor Moon that, I think we talked about before, but maybe we didn't cover as well. So, there's a lot of things that are the same between Sailor Moon and the Power Rangers. Now, at first, someone looking at it might say, yes, true. Both shows have Fiends of the Week, or I guess you could say, and both of them have their shifting going on, shape shifting going on. But then when you really look at it, there's some things that are not, well, yeah. At least when you look at Mighty Morphin, the first season, and he's in the second and third, the other season sagas followings, and if you look at Sailor Moon Classic or whatever you want to call it. Now, yes, there are many things like Tuxedo Mask helping me out the same way that the Green Ranger Tommy would help the Pink Ranger Kimberly out, and even when he became the White Ranger, this would go on as well. Tuxedo Mask getting brainwashed by Queen Beryl the same way that Tuxedo Mask or Daring getting brainwashed by Queen Beryl the same way that Tommy the Green Ranger gets brainwashed by Rita Repulsa. Maybe some. Now, keep in mind that Nako Takiguchi was a follower of Super Sentai, and that's where she got her thought for doing Sailor Moon. And Han Siobhan also was a follower, or came across Super Sentai himself, and that's where he got his thought for doing Power Rangers. Now, even though the shows might have some of that similar, some of those things are the same, I mentioned those two things, it's not like one show was taking off from the other show, and if they were, it wasn't like one show was knocking off the other show. Since both shows were taken or gotten, both shows were offshoots or taken from Super Sentai, it is more well to say that Sailor Moon and Power Rangers both were getting their thoughts from Super Sentai, and where it was getting its thoughts from, who knows. Now, when I said that there were things that were the same, there were also things that weren't the same, right, Sailor Venus? Yeah, like the Power Rangers, or whatever you want to call them, would always have some kind of Fiend fight where the Fiend would get big, and then it had to call in their big tool and have a fight, and then beat the Fiend. Where that never happened to us. It was mostly we fought the Fiend, and Tuxedo Max may or may not comes in to help us, and at the end we beat the Fiend. They don't really get big, except if you look at Emerald when she was shifted into a Lindworm, then yeah, but beyond that, our fiends that we fought, or foes that we fought, didn't actually get big. It didn't grow or anything. None of our foes never said, make my fiend grow. They never said that. That was just something that was done on Super Sentai, that got done on Power Rangers since it was done on Super Sentai. Now, a lot of folks would say if we had a lot of things that made our shows the same, yeah, there was many other things. that were the same, or many things, but at the same time, there are many things that were not the same. We only went for 5 followings, where the Power Rangers went on to have at least 21, at least will go on to have 26 followings. Anything else you want to put there, Sailor Moon? No, pretty much is right. Those are all the things that a lot of folks watching Power Rangers and Sailor Moon would see that were the same. But at the end of the day, there are some stuff that were not the same, and you mentioned it about having the big fiend or the big foe, and then them having to have a big tool to fight it and beat it. Something that, unless you count us fighting Emerald when she was a ringworm, was a Lindworm, was the only big fiend or foe fight we ever had. So yeah, beyond that, I don't really think that is at what it is and at the top. Yeah, you could say that we were doing the same. You could say that both shows have a lot of things that are the same. Now, there was someone on YouTube who had come up with a lot of things that both our shows had the same, that some folks wouldn't even think of. Like the show player did Sailor Venus's Boys did a show where Amy Jo Johnson was a show player on. So yeah, things like that. So there'd be like a lot of things that were the same, like you wouldn't think of that. And you also would also not think that Amy and Billy, both being blue, both being smart, both having names that begin with Y. The Billy's usually is a short form for William, and Amy, well, is just Amy. But they do have a lot of stuff that's the same about them. And some folks believed that Han Siobhan saw Sailor Moon and saw Amy, and then told the folks that Siobhan, we have to make someone gotta make Billy and make him be almost like Amy in a way. I don't know if that was true or not, but if it was, then you could see there were a lot of things that were the same. But that's it. By the way, Sailor Venus said we marked everything for kids now, since we do have dolls in them, and kids like dolls, even if it's not kids watching the films. So if anyone from YouTube or FTC ever wants to look at our films, not that they want to, I don't think anyone is ever going to. I don't think anyone's ever going to report to YouTube, oh, you're not following following the child, you're not following the law, and then YouTube has to send it to the FTC for them to look at and see if that's true or not. I don't think they'll ever have to do that, because I think at the surface, I think we're dolls, kids or whatever like dolls, so it is what it is. We covered our butt to what we think we can do. So that's it. I'm Sailor Moon. I'm Sailor Venus. Hope you like this film.